Today we are taking you to the most important place in the city of Prince George. And no, it may not be sexy, but it is sure important. Where am I talking about? The wastewater treatment plant here in Prince George. Of course, it does a lot of dirty work that you don't care to do, I don't care to do. And the operators there, well, they make sure it gets done. And we're going to do it together on CKPG Today. Welcome here to the most important part of the city of Prince George. That is the wastewater treatment plant. You don't want this to go down, that's for sure. And we're going to learn about how it works today with Shane. Great to meet you.
Yeah, great to meet you guys too, thanks.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about this. When was it built?
Treatment plant was built in the late 60s. There, started the construction, and then it's gone through several upgrades since then. We had the big upgrades in the 70s, in the late 80s to early 90s, and then there was the 2008 upgrade bringing us away to getting us to the centrifuge so we start creating biosolids there. So it's gone through several upgrades there, but it was constructed in the 60s.
Wow. Okay, and how many people roughly work here to keep this working?
Keep us working. I have 8 operators. So first things is we work 365 days of the year. So we have 2 shifts. We have a Sunday crew and a Saturday crew, 4 and 4. They're overlapping crews. And then me and my foreman and the lab tech are working Monday to Friday. So 8 operators, my 2 foremen, myself, 10, 11, and my lab tech 12. Then we also have tradespeople here. They do start out of their own division, the tradespeople, but we have our plumbers, our electricians, our millwrights, and all the tradespeople who help keep the equipment going here too.
Safe to say it takes an army to make this place.
12 to 15, yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well, there you go. You're wondering where it goes in Prince George. You're number 1, you're number 2. It all goes through here. Tell me about what we're about to see here in step 1.
We're gonna head out into the headworks area, which is where we wanna be removing all the bigger solid pieces with our bar screen system at first, and then we're going to be heading on to grit, where we're going to want to remove the settleable solids out of the system, and then we're going on to primary treatment, where we're going to be removing all the fog, fat, oils, and grease out of the system.
Okay, it's kind of like panning for gold. You got to get through the thick stuff to get to the bottom, right?
In a sense.
Yeah, you were kidding when you said this was the stinkiest part of the operation. Yeah, I am mouth breathing right now. That's normal? That's okay?
For me, I'm used to it, mate. It's okay. Yeah.
You go nose blind even here?
Yeah.
Okay.
14 years I've been here, so I don't notice it.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about this first part here. What's going behind us? There's a lot of running water. It's noisy. It's smelly.
Yeah. So the water comes in just behind us here, and we're going to be going through our bar screens first. We have 6mm bar screens, so anything larger than 6 mils we'll be pulling out. Compacts it into a rag system, so we're pulling out all the rags, any of the inorganics right away that we can. We want to get all the inorganics out of the water. That's what the bar screens are doing. After that, it's going to go to a grit removal system, which is your sand, silt, sediment, all the stuff that can get washed off and into the system. So you aerate it so that the sand, silt, and sediment will float to the bottom. So after that, we've kind of removed all of our inorganics from the bar screen. We removed all of our sand, silt, and sediment from the grit chambers here, and then we're going to go through to our primary sedimentation, where we're actually going to start dealing with removal of the fog, the fat, oils, and grease, or treating of our primary sludge.
Okay, so if you were a piece of corn, does the road end here?
No, that
goes a little bit further.
That's the very end, the very end of the line.
I know those are pesky.
You'll see that at the end of the line, yeah. This is primary treatment. These are primary clarifiers.
Okay.
So the main function of a primary clarifier is to separate the water from the fat, oils, and grease on the top, and then deal with our good sludge on the bottom. Our sludge is not a bad thing. Sludge is what we send to our digesters to turn into biosolids. We want to use that. We want to create our final end product of biosolids out of that.
From the start of the plant to the end of the plant, the retention time of the water is about 8 hours, really. So
really?
Yeah, from start to end of the plant. Now the solids is different because there's a 30-day retention time of the digesters, but start of the plant to end of the plant, you're about 8 hours for the water course path.
Yeah.
So no, it's moving so fast and it's already at such a warm temperature from being within room temperature, nothing freezes here.
My pee spends 8 hours here.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
Huh. All right, now we have reached the point of a bit of a waterfall here. It's kind of satisfying to look at.
It is, yeah.
What would you call this step what of your plant?
This is the final portion of water treatment in the plant.
Okay.
There's still the solids handling side of the facility here. The effluent that you're seeing going over the weirs right now is what's going to be heading to the river.
Okay.
The last thing we're doing, just like the primary clarifiers, is if there's any fog still, little bits of fats, oils, and grease in the system, we're going to be skimming it off the top. All of that gets sent back to the start of the system.
So this is not just a big round tank. There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on
under.
here. These are big tanks here. They're up to 30 feet deep. They have a cylindrical bottom on them. The other thing we're doing, just like the primary clarifiers, we're getting stuff off the top, but there is still sludge in the bottom here. Not all the sludge from the front of my plant does go straight to the digesters. It'll get through. At the end here, we like to call it it's your healthier sludge.
Kind of similar to having like a good stomach. Is that your
Very
your
similar.
gut health?
It is, and that's a funny way, but actually the digesters there is actually what they say is simulates a human stomach. I mean, it's digestion, it's mixture, it's heat. We keep them at 37 degrees. That's the same temperature as the internal human body. So that's exactly what the digesters actually are, is the human stomach.
Okay, that's where we're headed next?
Yes.
Miss an episode? That's okay, life gets busy. We get it. Or maybe you didn't miss anything, but you're here to watch that one feature again because honestly, it was that good. No judgment. Here's the good news. You can relive every moment of the CKPG Today Show whenever you want. Head over to ckpgtoday.ca, click on the Today Show tab, and voila. So grab some snacks, kick back, and binge away because let's face it, life's too short to miss out on great local TV.
Part of our job, of course, featuring inside city limits, different city facilities, is providing a little bit of advice because we like to make your jobs a little bit easier where we can and help people learn how to do that. So what would your advice be to someone out there watching?
Well, so we work with the source control division. They're in the environmental division. They work under my supervisor. So we work hand in hand with the source control division. And their main thing is to try and let the public know what to and what to not flush down your toilets or drains or anything like that. So I hate always using the words pee and poop, but you only pee and poop supposed to go down the toilet. Other than that, you don't. I know everyone knows the main one of like don't pour your bacon grease down the drain.
Yep.
You're not wanting to put any inorganics down there. I mean, feminine products like stuff that
really that hurts here.
Absolutely, it does. And the same thing can be said about our men's product, as condoms and stuff like that. Anything there, it's not supposed to. It's supposed to all go into your trash. You're really not. Pharmaceuticals also can be a really bad one there. People think lots of time people dump out their old medication. Yeah. It absolutely can throw off the balance of the water in there. So it's no medications. None of your fats, oils, and grease. Any fats, oils, and grease produced within your house to not flush down your drains at all like that. Feminine or male hygiene products of any sense.
And the one thing I've heard a lot that you find here, jeans.
I mean, clothing, absolutely. But you'd think that would be a no-brainer there. If that does manage to get through your portion of the pipe and you didn't clog up your house, great. You are going to clog up one of my pumps at one of my lift stations.
So at this point, think about your pee being gone. We're dealing with the number 2 over here.
We're in the solids.
We're in the solids,
yes.
In other words. You guys talk at all fancy words.
Yes. So we've finished the water course path of the tour, and the solids get sent. We're pulling all the solids. That's the whole point, separating solids from the water. We want to get good, clean water quality going out to the river, separate our solids, get them running through the digestion process, and turn them into the biosolids at the end product there. So all the sludge is getting sent here. It's going into the number 1 digester, and naturally it'll transfer over into the number 2. Number 2 digester is where we run our centrifuges out of to dewater it with a polymer into the final biosolids product. The digesters kind of simulate a human body, realistically. You need heat.
Yeah, that's what you were saying.
You need heat and mixture. So, we want to keep them at 37 degrees, which is the same temperature as the internal human body. It gets the best digestion purposes. We create our methane gas in here. So you see there on the torch that we have a wasting there. Any methane gas that we're not using, it is getting wasted off right now. We're actually in the talks of how we can utilize it with the RNG renewable gas and Fortis and them in that sense. We're just trying to come to a deal of how to reuse the wasted gas. Yeah. But all of the gas that isn't wasted, we utilize within our plant here. So we use all of our own gas in here. We run our boilers off our methane gas.
Wow. Okay, you're wondering what you are looking at here. I'm actually gonna grab some, Shane. You said I could do this.
You can do that.
This is, you call your end product.
Biosolids. So this is our biosolids. This is sludge. Once it's gone through the digesters and their 30-day breakdown, then they get run through centrifuges, which with a polymer injection in there gives it the stability to hold the sludge together into this form there while we're moving the water out of it. We want to get it to a moisture level below 25%.
It's dry. I want to touch on this for folks wondering, why does the smell seem to get better recently? This is one of the reasons.
Well, hopefully we're going to find out at the end of summer the
Yeah.
biggest one to that. But yes, unfortunately for the past of always, all the biosolids created here were stored outside, which you guys will just see outside of this cover here. It snows 6 months of the year, how much rain happens in Prince George. It's going to sit there, it's going to create this crust layer over it, and all the moisture is just sitting inside the biosolids. So when we go to haul it every summer there, at the end of summer, they go scoop it up, and all the off-gassing happens.
To put it into plain people's terms, if you didn't understand that, it's kind of like your grass clippings. You let them sit for a while and they get exposed to the elements. Then in the inside and the core, they smell like junk.
Yes.
These? I don't know.
It shouldn't smell like really
doesn't
much.
smell like
It
anything.
shouldn't smell much like anything in here.
Thanks for the tour today. This has been great. This is just a great episode inside city limits of the most important piece of infrastructure, facility, piece of the city you're ever going to find.
Explore inside city limits on CKPG Today. Brought to you by the City of Prince George. Follow us online, download the City of PG app, or subscribe to city newsletters to stay up to date on what's happening in your community.
Giddy up, everybody. It's time now for our energetic County Fair Lyric Challenge, where you have the chance to win a pair of tickets to one of the biggest parties of the summer in northern British Columbia, the 2026 Energetic County Fair Music Festival in Fort St. John, July 16th to 18th. Here's how it works. I'm going to give you a lyric from one of the artists hitting the stage this year, and all you have to do is finish that lyric. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. Finish this lyric today from CCR. Of course, the Bad Moon Riser is going to be playing this tune. Here we go. I want to know, have you ever seen the rain coming down on a day? Think you know the missing word? What day was it? What kind of day? Head online to ckpgtoday.ca and submit your guess for a chance to win a pair of tickets to the 2026 Energetic County Fair Music Festival up in FSJ. Good luck. Tired of missing the good stuff? Let CKPG Today come to you. Our new weekly email newsletter delivers local stories, contests, and can't-miss moments from the show straight to your inbox. No digging through social media anymore. It's free, it's easy, and it's very local. Sign up now at ckpgtoday.ca or by scanning the QR code on your screen now.
Bringing you a very special guest on today's show. We got a national champion in the studio today, CG, and his coach, Jordan. Thanks so much for coming in today from the Nechako Karate Club here in Prince George.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, thanks. And congratulations. How does it feel to be a national gold medal champ?
Feels amazing, man. Yeah.
Like, did you expect this going into the season? That was always your goal. You had your sights set, you knew.
My sight was set to this, yeah.
Okay, now walk me through the final match, earning that gold medal. How did it work?
Started off pretty slow, right? I was down in points at the end. However, my opponent, he kicked me in the face, which ended up disqualifying him and giving me the medal. So, yeah, the nerves were there, everything was there, but yeah.
So the kick in the face probably hurt, but it was worth it.
It was worth it, 100%.
As a coach, watching Seiji go through this, Jordan, how does it feel?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm extremely happy for him. So proud of his accomplishment. But I got to be honest with you, I completely expected it. There was a moment in the week before we were doing a drill at the dojo, and I looked over at our head coach and I said, "He's gonna win. He's gonna win nationals," and he did. And so honestly, watching all his fights, just seeing how dialed in he was, it wasn't a surprise at all, and just elation, right? He's worked so hard, and we've worked together for quite a few years now. A couple years ago, we went to BC Winter Games together, and there were some bumps in the road of that tournament, some tears, but we learned from it and grow, and just the work that Seiji's put in at the dojo is just really awesome, and just great to see the progress he's made this year, and really excited for the seasons to come.
Yeah, definitely. The end is not now. You're just going to keep building on it.
Yeah.
More national championships.
Yeah.
One day you're going to have a statue here or something, right? Is that the goal? Yeah. But okay, we're talking about the work and the training. Walk me through your training routine and your regime here, because I see you guys training all the time, sometimes at the sports center, but there's a lot of training involved here. Tell me about it.
I usually train like around 2 to 3 days a week,
Okay.
and it's
Like how intense is it on a scale 1 to 10?
I feel like on like Mondays and Tuesdays, which is our half and half sport karate and traditional karate,
Okay.
it's less intense, around like a 6 or 7 out of 10. But on Fridays, that's when we're 10 out of 10 intensity.
Okay, I guess part of this is learning about your body, what your body can do, and when it needs to rest and that kind of thing. Is that part of the process, Jordan?
Yeah, absolutely. And just don't forget too, Seiji is a dual sport athlete. He also does basketball and plays some other sports too. So you
have
it's not
tons of
just,
spare time.
Yeah.
He is putting in lots of work, right? And I think basketball is a cool sport. I think it's very transferable to karate. So he's training all the time, and I would agree with that. I think it is a little different with our half and half class during the week, but on our Friday and Sunday classes, the intensity is a little higher, and just Seiji comes and cooks.
Okay, yeah, cooks it up, eh? Chefing up success.
Yes, sir.
Okay, what was the hardest thing to learn in karate? Like, I mean, you can watch all the time. I've watched Karate Kid. I don't know how accurate that is, but
Don't
don't even.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
I feel like transitioning from like the beginner, like basic karate to like the more advanced sport tournament style of karate.
What's the biggest difference? Like, is it more active? Jordan, kind of run me through here.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, like, I'm also a competitor, and it's just very different to go into that tournament setting where the pressure basically gets ramped up to 11.
Right.
You are no longer in your dojo with your dojo mates. You're at sometimes a big arena, like nationals, tons of fans, big ring. And, it's just you and your opponent, and your coach is there, but they're on the side, and you've got the refs who are always a little scary, and it's just, it's very different. And I think that's something that Seiji has really worked on, is the mental aspect of it. I know, in previous years, maybe the confidence was lacking a bit, and it just seems like this year, like a switch flipped on where he just, like, as the kids say, locked in.
Yeah.
He just was really focused, really calm and confident watching his fights. He just had a dial, and I think, I was reviewing the scores today, and if you look at a lot of the scores from his matches, he had some close fights, but it doesn't really tell the whole story. Like, I think he was really in control the whole time, knew what he was doing, had his opponents where he wanted them to be, and very clinical performance, just to a T. I think except for maybe that last fight, but even that last fight wasn't the end of the world. At that point, it's double a limb, so fairly confident. Even if he hadn't won, the call hadn't gone his way, I think he would have come back and won.
Okay.
So
we talked about the mental part, Seiji. Do you have a song that you prepare, like, or is it just silence? You just
I don't have a specific song, but
different for basketball and karate, I would guess.
it's kind of the same. Actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I listen to the same music, but yeah.
No Eminem, no Nickelback, like
no, like modern rap type of stuff.
Yeah. I'm aging myself here.
We do have a pretty big conflict in the dojo about music. There is when we train. The older, like myself and the other instructor, Warren, there's a bit of tension over the music choice. So I think the kids like a little more heavy hip hop, but we kind of like the more dancey rock stuff. That's maybe a little more safer for parent ears, but it is a known issue at our club.
Yeah.
So sorting it out.
Okay, as we end this here, Seiji, I want to ask you one question. I'd like to give the athletes the floor to do this, especially the national champion. Now, what are your words of wisdom from others watching your success here, watching you talk on TV, to get to that point? What do you say to people?
I feel like you should take one step at a time. Don't like look for like the end goal. Go one at a time, and then you'll eventually reach it.
I like that.
So
it's kind of like life. Otherwise, it gets very overwhelming. That's how I feel. Awesome. Well,
Totally.
Thanks so much for coming in today, you guys.
Yeah,
congratulations, Seiji, and
you so
congratulations,
much.
Jordan, as well. Like,
thank you.
Coaching these young kids to do incredible things here in Prince George. So, good luck on your future tournaments. Look forward to having you back too here. Sound good?
Yep.
All right. Thanks,
All right.
guys.
Thank you so much.
Taking a look outside at our CKPG snapshot of the day, and whoa, Nelly. Look at this bear. Holy moly. And Spears captured this guy, a cinnamon bear. Or should I say this heifer? Holy moly. Takes up the whole screen. And she has nicknamed him, and so have we, Frank the Tank. This guy has been finding a lot of things to eat. I'm not sure what his diet is, but it's definitely not the value menu, that's for sure. Thanks so much for sharing, Anne. What a crazy shot to share with you. If you have something that we won't believe, share it with us. We'd love to top this. Probably impossible, but send your photos in. Snapshot@ckpg.com is our email. Hey there, got an idea or suggestion for the show? Reach out and connect through our social media or send us an email at letstalk@ckpgtoday.ca.
Over the years, a ton of great local people have put on a ton of great local productions, but one that gets talked about still today is Jesus Christ Superstar. I don't know if you remember that when Judy Russell put it on back in the day, but we're going to look at the announcement of that today in local history.
Taking a look back to 2002 here at the announcement of a Judy Russell special production. Jesus Christ Superstar was set to be held at Vanier Hall July 21st to 27. Looking a little deeper at the article, it was a 50-member cast, established local talent part of it, including Andy Beasley, who took his role as Christ. He was one of 10 returning cast members. Andrew Halliday took the role of Judas, and Katherine Hansen played Mary Magdalene. The show co-directed by Kevin Armstrong with music direction from Kevin Zakreski. Tickets for this production, $26.50.
You know, my favorite part of that article in history is actually the fact that Andy Beasley, who you've seen on your screen recently, played Jesus Christ. I mean, come on. Something about this makes me laugh. But anyways, I do want to go back to something you just saw on your screen now. That giant bear, okay? Can we talk about this for a second? I mean, usually we don't bring it back to the snapshot feature, but get a look at this creature. I mean, what the heck is going on here? What did it eat? What's the diet? Well, okay, we've talked to a couple experts. We think it may be pregnant, so maybe there's some triplets or quintuplets in there, but holy moly, wouldn't want to run into that one in the woods. That is a scary figure. So watch out for that. Ann Spears didn't tell us where it was, but next time, Ann, send us some video. I'd love to see this thing just walk. How does that work? Anyways, we know how wastewater works, at least. Learn together on the show today. And we'll do some more learning tomorrow. Okay, bye for now, folks.